We're joined by Andy. How are you doing, Andy?
Blood rush yourself.
Who's not from Aberdeen.
Not at the moment.
He's in his
I've been
man
there.
cave. In his man cave. How are you doing, Andy?
Good man. Just give me a second.
You what, lad?
I'm just looking for my Coca-Cola for my vodka.
Oh, are you on it tonight, kid?
I'll have one there. I was I wasn't gonna, but I thought, why not?
We've been swimming.
Yeah, well, I only had a sauna. I didn't have time for a proper swim, so just had a sauna. So that was all right though.
Good man.
Just a bit of chill out time.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
What's weather like up there, Andy, in Aberdeen?
I'd have to phone somebody to find out.
You know, for two
Uh,
years, I kept saying to me, my massive, every time weather come on house and it used to come on news, I said, "Oh God, it looked cold up there in Aberdeen." I bet Andy's shivering.
it was -6 here yesterday, but that's in Perth.
What it? What you got there? Vodka and Coke.
Body and Coke, Grey Goose vodka.
Grey Goose. That's what Frotcher's into.
Yeah, that's what the Cobra likes, isn't it? I
Goose.
like that. I like that Ciroc as well. It's French stuff made with grapes, but
What?
it's run out, so I have to have Grey Goose.
Come on, Andy. You're a proper boozer. All you Scotch people like a drink, don't you?
That's the first one I've had probably in 3 weeks.
Is that why they call you sweaty socks? Because you sweat it out next day?
Out for a run.
Go for a run or a cut or you go swimming in rivers, you don't you, Andy?
I do cold water swimming, but I've not done it for a wee while because it gets
Cold.
dark early now, So,
Is it cold?
oh, aye. I think the water last time I went, the water was about 6 degrees.
That's cold, isn't it?
I actually stayed in too long the last time and realised that when I came out.
Do you wear like shorts when you do it, or like full on frogman outfit?
I just a pair of shorts.
Never.
First time I went, I wore a wetsuit and I
Yeah,
thought I
once
could.
you get going, you warm up, don't you?
You do the first 50 yards, you're asking yourself, what am I doing?
Hiya. And then you're all right.
Then you're all right once you get warmed up. But you've just got to go in slowly.
Yeah, I know
Uh,
somebody that's right into swimming, and this person has done this, like, and I don't think I could do it. No, I don't think I could.
well, it's
I don't mind
brilliant for your health.
sea, but you like that in sea, aren't you, for first few yard, aren't you?
I would say the sea's quite. Any sea I've swum in the sea up north as well. Up on Dornoch Firth, up north of Scotland. So it's effectively the North Sea. I've swum in there in maybe October time, but I would say that's colder there, and fresh water's colder.
Fresh water's colder, yeah.
I would say so, yeah. The
I'll
sea's
stick.
a bit,
Yeah.
sea's quite buoyant as well, when you're in the sea.
Well, I had a
There's been,
swim in Portugal, didn't I, in August? That were all
uh,
right.
yeah, I was out in Mallorca in September there, and it was fine. It was good.
We were 110 degrees, like.
Nah,
I'm not into all that going into igloos like you, mate. I'll stick to me bath. I'll stick to me once a week bath. Uh,
it's,
there's a lot gone on in boxing since we last spoke.
yeah,
How good going on about repeater stuff. You know, now the dust has settled. What do you think about the whole state of affairs now with this Mike Tyson, nearly 59-year-old, getting him a license, and this Jake Paul, the guy 27, looks 57. Where
yeah.
Andy? What do you think? What's the story?
I think it's shocking, But I think it's that the people who's actually license that as a proper fight want to hang their heads in shame. I think it's the Texas Commission.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I think it's them that's licensed Dillian White and Conor Benn, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
it's Dylan White's fighting in Gibraltar, isn't he, against Tete?
yeah,
I mean, what are they doing treading water? Joshua's not even having a fight, Andy, is he either? They've parked him up. They don't put him near anybody till Fury fight wrapped in cotton wool. They're playing it safe like accountants, aren't they?
yeah. Well, you look at it. I mean, I did a top 10 a wee while back, a top 10 heavyweights, and there's many of them. you wouldn't put Joshua near them at the moment. Likes Sang, Bakole, even Joseph Parker, um, Ajit Kabayel. I don't think you'd stick any of them near Joshua now. Even Wardley, I think Wardley would probably do the business in Joshua. I think Joshua looks fragile.
Yeah. Oh, very fragile, mate. He looks to me like he's scared of his own shadow. I mean, Nigel Benn said in that interview that he's not letting his hands good, isn't he?
Yeah,
To let
he's
him go in
just
case Hook comes back.
that's it. He says you can't go into a fight like that, eh? That mindset. You're beaten before you get in the ring, aren't you?
You won't put him in with a Coley then.
Oh no, I think Bakole would. I think Bakole might even beat him quicker than
The bar.
Dubois did. Eh?
Well, I've just had James on and Essex kid. I think he lives in Manchester. He's just said to me that they're not going to put Joshua near Fabio Wardley either.
No, is that James, the Chaz and Dave fan?
Yeah, I think he is. Oh, yeah, James, with dark hair. He's on keto diet, James. He's going for it, bless him.
Is he? He's a good lad. Him, I like him.
He's all right, James. I had to bollock him tonight because you ask him a question, he takes you down over avenues, doesn't he?
Takes you around the houses.
Well, I only do it to be controversial, gets people commentating, calling me a bully and that because he's got cerebral palsy. They'll be calling me a bully, won't they, now?
Uh,
But some things we can't just talk about. Like me and James spoke about some in one of the videos, and I've just put them up on members, and it's flagged up limited earnings on it. So I don't know what I've said. It might have been that I commented about Lauren Price, and I think James said that every time she gets in ring, the commentators at Sky remind us that she's in a relationship with a female boxer, don't they? Who's ringside. I don't think we need to see that. And it's just
no.
red flagged up. I went into red flag, as you know, it's an orange one, isn't it? But I
Yeah,
thought, wow. Now, this is what we're up against now. You can't. Subjects are so touchy that if I put for every 10 videos I put out, I'm getting pulled up on 4 for swearing or
all
subject
this wokeness. Eh?
we're not educated enough to talk about. And I'm really, to be honest, wondering where we're going with the YouTube thing now. I am, honestly. And I can understand why other YouTubers buying subscribers, because there's channels out there we know that average 28,000, but they've got 1 million subs. So what are other
Yeah,
900 and odd thousand? Where are they? You know where I'm coming from, don't you? But
yeah,
a lot of these channels, they don't say anything, and I can understand why now because they want to do it as a job, don't they? And that. Whereas me,
yeah.
I'm a take it or leave it, don't I? But I'm pretty brutal, aren't I? You know how I deliver.
Oh,
What it is, you see, right? Once you worked in industry, and I'm no patience me whatsoever for knackers. I won't listen to it, and I spot it a mile off because you see it, right? 'Cause like you. And obviously, I know what you do for a living. You can spot things because of your job quicker than people who don't do your job, can't you? I see
yeah,
things and I study people, study what they say and do. I can see it a mile off, and other people who in the industry will speak to me and we're like, wow. And we're at this stage now where it's been allowed to go on. And I'm blaming the media and the TV people, not the boxing people, because boxing people are greedy. They're in boxing because they can't get a living anywhere else. That's why they're in boxing. They can't hold
yeah.
the job down. Now, people like Sam Jones, what would he be doing if he weren't pouncing a living? There you go.
Making tea,
Your
making tea.
Ambrose Mendes, your Sam Joneses, people like
Yeah,
that. Now, the sport's in disarray. But we said this 4 years ago. This day we're going to come. Terry Chappell did. They also bolted years ago, but boxing's allowed it to happen. They're talking about Jake Paul now in fights with Jabbar. People like the Gad.
nonsense. Eh?
That is absolute. What are they going to do? Fix that fight or something? So it's a tight one. Where are we going with this? Is this kid going to be allowed to be handing millions and millions to people because he's got all these teeny boppers hooked on watching him? Is this where we're at? It's killing.
Mentally.
You say no. They're allowing it to happen. The people, your Carlos Sauerlands and your Eddie Hills, sewer rats, Hillsers and Bricktops, TV platforms. How is this allowed to happen? You got a man nearly 59 just walking about in ring with his hands up, but he's looking the business on pads. He couldn't even get his combos off. It wasn't even a move around. It were awful.
Just horrible, eh? And people like the God are enabling all this bullshit to be trumped out. I mean, him and Spencer Oliver were out there convincing people, trying to convince people that Tyson's got a chance, that, oh, he can roll back the years and all this crap. And, oh, look at the ring walk. It was a sight to behold. 72,000 people with phones all fixated on Mike Tyson. It's like, oh my God. The ring walk was horrible. It was cringeworthy. Tyson even tripped at one bit. He was just fumbling his way out towards the ring. I'm like, oh my God, it's just horrendous. How is this allowed to happen? It's just, he's fighting with one leg, wasn't he? Because one of his legs was strapped up. He couldn't even move. He was getting in the wrong position. It was dangerous. Jake Paul could have smashed him halfway through that fight if he wanted. And what does that say about the whole thing, doesn't it? It's just horrendous. The last thing I seen about Jake Paul, Shannon Briggs is wanting to fight him, but I think he's got a bit more ability at this stage of the game than Mike Tyson. But he's a big monster man, isn't he?
Who is?
Shannon Briggs, Shannon the Cannon.
Listen, Shannon Briggs, right? He's not going to be able to do no anyway because look, none of them can. We can all go
He's
off
50.
punch bag, can't we? And do the deal,
Yeah.
can't we? And get somebody to film it and piece it all in and that. But Shannon Briggs won't even train. He'll just turn up, put gloves on. They'll have a bit of a swing because they all hate boxing now because they've all got out of it. We know they all got robbed and
Mm.
stung. Boxing is the only sport where you can get your brains shook, your money took, and your name in the Undertaker's book. Always
Mm.
remember that. Brain shook by fighting, your money took by promoters, and your name in Undertaker's book. That's what can happen in boxing. And nobody will get done for it because you sign a form before you fight. You can get killed in that
Yep.
ring, and nobody will get a £50 fine. Nobody.
Shocking, eh?
Shocking. And
You know
Shannon
what?
and your Mike Tyson's, they'll come back and they'll just plod forward, take punishment, and take the money. They're not bothered
Yeah.
because they hate the sport. Mike Tyson sold a loss on his record for 20 million. That's what he's done.
Yep. Yeah.
That's what he's done.
I
So
remember watching old Frank Goldfeather, the 78-year-old guy he's on TikTok and all that. He's on YouTube now as well. Remember him saying he never turned pro. He had over 200 amateur fights. I think he only lost about 15 of them or something. He
yeah,
never turned pro because I think he said he was 19 or 20. And he could see then, he must have had his head screwed on. He could see then the only people making money in boxing was the promoters and the managers. And they're not the ones that's getting punched in the head. So,
there you go. There you
mm,
go. Like I said, once Anthony Joshua's gone, Eddie will be on to somebody else, won't he?
yeah, like a leech.
I think he'll take a time out though, me Eddie, and wait and come back. His dad's dipped in and out of boxing for years, and his dad matched him. They weren't always full on, were they? Whereas
Yeah.
Bricktop, he's snapping in half. It says boxing, doesn't it? Whereas Barry Earn, the accountants, aren't they? Don't want to roll the dice. That's why Joshua's wrapped in cotton wool. You probably not see him now out summer now.
Who's
Hear
Eddie Hill's
anybody
going
in
to?
a heartbeat.
What heavyweights is Eddie Hill's going to get? Because Bricktop signed them all up, and he's signed them all.
Who's Eddie got really? He'd be stable art.
Crusher Ben.
Crusher Ben, a jug sheet. Dylan White, a jug sheet with no contract. Who else? Joshua all knocked about. Katie Taylor drinking through a straw with a flat nose. Who's he got?
Sky Nicholson.
Sky Nicholson, his bit of fluff. Shannon
Mhm.
Courtney, Coogan's ex bit of fluff. Is that it? Is that the roster?
Bivol, has he got Bivol?
Bivol, yeah, I've never heard the giant mute.
Well,
Hey, the Callum Smith of Russia.
I'm looking forward to that rematch. I think that was a brilliant technical fight, wasn't it?
Better be.
I think Better Beef will beat him again. I think it'll be close though. It'll be close, but I think I still pick Better BF. But unless he gets old overnight, because he is 40 odds, isn't he?
Right, let's have a flick through and see what we've got in Porky's Magic Roundabout. Callum Smith's fighting that Carlos Galvan or something, isn't he? From a Colombian kid living in Barcelona. 20 fights, 14 losses, 2 draws, ranked 464 on BoxRec this evening. Callum Smith,
Hmm.
ranked number 6, ex-Ring Magazine, ex-WBA, 29 and 2. Point I want to make is this. Paul Smith, aka Smiggers Titters, the fat brother with beard, Jim Royal. He's running around like a headless chicken, and telling people 11 of Carlos Galvan's losses were against men who were undefeated, and one at draws the guy had were undefeated as well. It's an 8-rounder, titty man. Give over. What is Paul Smith on? Is Paul Smith on drugs as well as pizzas and kebabs? What is he on him? Biggest titties. What is all that about?
Christ knows, eh?
Eh?
That's
Absolutely. I mean, what do you think to that? I mean, Callum Smith. How's it got to this stage where Callum Smith is on a Eddie Hill show in Birmingham on the undercard of Stuart Little?
I thought Callum Smith had retired.
Callum Smith, I've never heard him speak. Does he speak? Can he speak?
Not a lot, not a lot.
Do you remember when Eddie said they were going to dominate super middle, light heavy, cruiser, heavyweight, and take on all comers and go down as an all-time great? Hey, what were all that about? What was all that?
Fantasy stuff, eh?
Fantasy Island stuff, innit? Like Joe Egan stood on the stomping ground with Arslick Parsons, caked in foundation, telling us all about Mike Tyson, the kill Jake, and how he's an animal and he's the old warrior. What? When has Mike Tyson won a life and death?
Hasn't he? He's never come back from adversity.
Every loss he's ever had, he's been knocked out apart from the Jake Paul one. Am I right?
Yeah, and if I remember right, he almost gave up against Brian Nielsen. Remember that? Is he Danish or something?
He did, yeah.
He almost gave up against him, but Brian Nielsen got tired of him. He was quite lucky there.
Don't forget, in Mike Tyson's book, he bragged about taking performance-enhancing drugs, didn't he? Do you remember?
Yeah,
Nobody's
used a fake.
mentioning anything like this. Convicted rapist. He battered that old couple, went to prison for it on motorway, or they call it freeway, and admitted in his book that he cheated with performance-enhancing drugs. Yet nobody dares say a word. Oh, it's Mike. It's Mike. He's all right. He's from the streets. Why is nobody saying anything? Why is he allowed to do what he wants? We've got a non-seer who beats old people up and admitted cheating in the ring. And and they're just all giving him carte blanche. And people like Joe Egan, they want to be around these people, don't they? What is all that about?
I saw a video of him 2 weeks ago, and he was saying in a video how he's not a nice guy. He's not a nice person. He was admitting that. Yeah, the guy, I want to call Mike Tyson my friend. It's like, what?
They say, don't you? Birds of a feather flock together. Can you imagine them all on a night out in a strip bar? Joe Egan, Mike Tyson, and the guy. In a strip bar. Which one would get arrested first? Who would be asked to leave first out of them three? Who do you think?
I think the guard would try and do the negotiation with the police about how he's fascinated by it all.
It's absolute utter madness. I was going to ask you, when should a fighter retire, or even when they retire, are they ever really retired? I mean, the Cobra looks like he wants to get in for some of that swag, doesn't he? Some of that Bunsen burner. I think if Carl goes and fights somebody like Jake Paul, I think I'd be a bit, I don't know how I feel about it. I want him to get filled in, but I wouldn't want it on his professional record. I want it as an exhibition. I'd be all right with that. I wouldn't want it to go on his record because I think it'd tarnish it with what Carl's achieved. And all the fame of getting him win. But then again, they let that nonce Mike Tyson in with him, didn't they, as a professional fighter, giving a nonce a record and a license to fight and at nearly 59, but yet anywhere else in the world won't do it. So it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And all I think they've done is kick sand in the fans' faces. And I think they've took a piss on Netflix. Because especially after that, I mean, there were more effort at the weigh-in, weren't there, from the slap from him, weren't there? There were more effort in that slap than there were on the night, weren't there?
Yeah.
I mean, what is all
I'd like to see Froch retire. I think he should. I wouldn't like to see him lower himself to that level and get in there with the likes of that. We better stay retired and stay dignified, eh?
Well, they're not though, are they? I mean, why don't Carl just turn up at a show and just give him a crack in corridor or so? Just give him a backhander, Carl. Just give him a
Aye.
backhander, get somebody to film it. That's the only way you're going to get that lolly. Because they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Carl's a big enough name, but they want somebody that's knackered and of it ill and who's been like a superstar, don't they?
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. But like I said, when should a fighter retire, Andy?
uh, when the first signs of deterioration appear.
Yeah,
That's when I think Carroll did the right thing. He retired at the right time. Lennox Lewis retired. He knew it wasn't there anymore. I think when he beat Klitschko. Whether he would have beaten Klitschko if Klitschko hadn't been cut, we don't know. We'll
no,
never know. But I think he probably would have done. But it was tough for him, wasn't it? It wasn't an easy night's work. That
no.
Klitschko was a standing, wasn't he? But they got out at the right time. But then you see other guys, the likes of probably the worst case scenario was Danny Williams, isn't it? Just going on and on and on and on, and it's horrible. It's just shouldn't happen. But then I don't know what's happened with these guys. It seems to be a difficult thing for boxers to retire and adapt to. In some way, it's a bit like people that come out the forces, the armed forces. A lot of them kind of lose their way adapting to civilian life. So, and boxers seem to have difficulty adapting to some sort of normality. Most of them anyway.
Yeah. Conor Ben is cleared to fight. What do you think?
It's not cleared in my book. He's failed. He's failed drug tests. They've never said he's not failed the drug tests, have they?
No.
That's in effect when they say, "Oh, there's not been a silent ban." He's been suspended for 2 years, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Suspension, ban is much the same
It
thing,
all
isn't it?
ties in with why they've said, yeah, let's just let it go. Took him out of action, haven't they?
Yeah,
UK anyway.
they've
Uh,
run out of money, haven't they?
ran out of money. Well, that's what I'm hearing. Do you think that VADA will get involved with this appeal? World Anti-Doping Association.
Is it them that?
No, it's you.
Some of them.
The issues with UPAD, but there's only VADA that can get involved now with this appeal. I think they'll just let them get on with it and just let them get on with it.
Ah,
Boxing's it's a mess anyway at the moment. They're just doing what they
ah.
want, aren't they?
It's still a stain on the sport, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would say.
Massive, massive stain on the sport, and it's not going away, is it?
Nah, it's just horrible, horrible. And what about Dillian? What happened with Dillian White's case? We never really heard
That
what
just
really
went
happened.
what the Oscar Rivers one or the Joshua one. They both went missing, didn't they? They've got it off to a T now. What to
Joshua.
do if you're a pay-per-view fighter, you can get lawyers to tie these muppets in half, can't you? Tie them in knots.
You've got
Let's
enough money,
yeah. Well, if you've got enough coin, yeah. Let's switch it up a bit.
See,
Lawrence Coley, what next for him?
Lawrence Cole, I want to see him. I want to see him fight. I just
I
need
do.
to see him fight at heavyweight and see where he's at.
I do. Who do you think he'll fight? Who would you
Um,
like to see him in with?
I like to see him in with Dillian White.
I would.
Get rid of the drug cheats out there. Well, alleged drug cheats, isn't they? So because we don't know the whole story. So what?
Well, he
Just
fights.
get
He fights next week, doesn't he? On against
yeah,
that Hussein Mohammed, doesn't he? 18-1 at Wembley Arena.
yeah.
Uh, he's
Just quickly, I'd like to say these cases shouldn't be about money. The government should be funding likes of the Border Control and UCAD and that
yeah,
with enough money to stand up to these people.
yeah,
I'll just say that.
yeah. Well, Lawrence is ranked number 8 in world. He's fighting a guy ranked 120. So good luck to Lawrence. Uh, Solomon Dakras, David Adelaide's on the same card. It's on Bricktop's Magnificent Seven on the 7th of December. I think it's a good show. Sam
Oh, that'll
Noakes,
be good, then.
Sam Noakes against Ryan Welsh.
Uh-huh.
A good fight. That's for British Commonwealth and WBC International lightweight belt. Then we've got Brad Pauls against Denzel Bentley. That's a good fight.
Oh, that'll be good, Yeah, look forward to
That's
that one.
for British middleweight title, European middleweight title, and WBO International. Frank's throwing up belts out now. He's got some poke. We've got David Adelaide, Solomon Dakras. for English 10-rounder. Tyson Fury's old belt. Then we've got Lawrence Okolie against Hussein Mohammed. That's it's a decent heavyweight debut for Lawrence. Then we've got Allies Yowombi against Lewis Oakford. Sean Noakes is on against Matthew Rennie. Pierce O'Leary, TBA. Royston Barney Smith, they reckon he's going to go all the way, don't they?
Yep.
Royston, they reckon he's the real deal, don't they? Against Andreas Navarrete. Billy Adams is in against Jonatas Rodrigo Gomez de Oliveira. And then we've got George Crotty against Dylan Courtney. So they got 1, 2, 3. They got some fights on here. Bricktop.
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fights on there for Bricktop. That's a stacked card for Bricktop, isn't it? Really, he's
in the driving seat, isn't he?
Where he belongs. What do you think?
Oh, aye, he's on it. I tell you what fight I'd like to see a Cole in. Philip Hergovich.
Oh,
Hergovich.
yeah,
That'd be a good fight.
yeah. Well, we're going to see, aren't we? We're going to see, but obviously we're coming up to the crunch time of the year, the 21st of December. Fury against Usyk. Who you got?
Yeah, I've got Usyk to win more decisively than the last time.
I've got Usyk to win early doors. People are saying in the now, Fury's going to come out swingers.
That's probably the worst thing he can do. It's maybe his only chance, but I think he'll walk onto some. And he'll walk onto some, get hurt early, and maybe get stopped mid-rounds or something like that.
You think?
He's not. He's never going to be as fit as Usyk. He's never going to be able to fight at a pace for as long as Usyk. Usyk's just. He's like the $6 million man. He's just like. He's a machine. He's a machine, as Big John would say. I just think he's a one-off. He's an incredible athlete, and I don't think there's anybody like him at the moment. And I saw a photo of him standing next to Lennox Lewis the other day, and Lennox Lewis didn't look much bigger than him because I've seen people comparing how would Usyk go on with Lennox Lewis, and everybody's going to Lewis would hammer him, but no, I don't necessarily believe that because I think Lewis might struggle with. I'm not saying he wouldn't beat Usyk, but I think he would struggle with him. And I mean, Lennox he's one of the top guys in my book.
Lennox is 2 inches taller and a stone heavier, and he was supposed to be a giant. Now,
yeah,
Usyk's heavier than George Foreman at the same height. So he's not a small guy because we used to call him Big George Foreman.
Big George.
Well,
That's it.
so if Usyk fought in them days, he'd been known as Big Alexander, wouldn't he? So
I mean,
right size, he can move, and he's a southpaw.
you never ever see him overextending to throw a punch. His feet are always under him. It's just got incredible footwork. You watch him doing all that crazy dancing and training and that. It's no wonder he's just something else, eh? And I never favour anybody. I just want the best man to win. I want a fair fight with a fair result. But you've got to admire somebody of Usyk's caliber in this day and age. I think he'd be very successful in any era in boxing.
Yeah. Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, he is the best. 335 and 15 as an amateur. He matched 11 and then 15 and battered them.
Yeah.
European World Olympic gold, undefeated cruiserweight, undefeated and undisputed cruiser and heavyweight. All in 22 fights on the road, beating 8 world champions, 8 wins over champions, double what Fury's got. And he doesn't shout and ball and play the game, and he's been the B-side all the way through on the road. I think this is nothing short of he's nothing short of a genius. So appreciate him while he's here, because the only way he's going to get beat is if he gets shafted.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Or he goes on too long or something like that.
Or he goes on too long, and I don't think there's any chance of that. I think he'll deal with Fury, and then who has he got to beat? Then he's done Dubois, he's done Joshua twice. They made him do Joshua twice. He's done Fury comfortably. If he does Fury again, I think he's a top 5 of all time. I think.
Yeah, and they try to do him in the cards twice. I mean, that 2 split decisions, that's bullshit. and they were never split decisions in my book.
Never. Listen, he has to be squeaky clean and on point in every round, and he knows
Yeah.
it. He's going to get no favours.
Nah.
Because he's knackered division up, and he's took the big two out. He's Joshua's, he fried his brains. He's done Fury's brains as well, and Fury's carrying off like he did the first time. Instead of being Mr. Humble and keeping his mouth shut, he's just acting stupid because he knows what's coming.
Scared.
It's about pedigree, innit? Look at the pedigree, right? Fury didn't want to fight the following people, did he? Right? He didn't fight David Price, Ortiz. He didn't fight them, did he? He didn't fight Vladimir in 2012. He waited another 3.5 years. He hasn't fought AJ yet, Fury, has he? He knocked McCauley fight back. He didn't want to fight Joe Joyce. He said Luis Ortiz is in the Unis in club. And he only fought Wilder because they were backed into a corner. We know where to go. You see where I'm coming from? And they had to go abroad to fight him at his B side. So Fury's played the game, but trust me, he's acting out of character and he is feeling his nappy. Like his dad did when Darren Till put it on him. Do you want to go on to part 2, Andy?
Yeah.
Well,
see you over there.
Part 2.
Give me
Don't forget
5.
to like and subscribe and leave us a comment. We'll see you on part 2. Booyaka.